somehow or another, we managed to get through Thanksgiving, didn't we, guys? We had a good Thanksgiving, and I hope y'all did too. Ours was just a little bit smaller than usual, but it was good. I got to see all my kids but one, and that's because he's in California working. But I got to see all my grandkids, so it was all good. We had a good day. We were short some in-laws and family members, and but we just tried to play it pretty careful. Danny's mama, we had to be really careful around her because she sure don't need to get sick. And right now we've got a lot of sick people in our area, so we're just being really careful. But anyways, we still had an enjoyable Thanksgiving and got our bellies full too. And I hope y'all did too. You know, I was thinking it's not going to be long that Christmas is going to be here. So I want to get started on my Christmas cookies. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start in on a batch of their jam pinwheel cookies. And this is a vintage recipe that's been around for years and years. And you can use any kind of jam you have, or if you got some in the pantry that you've made homemade or bought or whatever. There's a lot of different good fillings that you can put in a pinwheel cookie. You can put my family makes a date filling, and I may be doing one of those if I can get it in for Christmas. Pinwheel cookie that's really good. But this is going to be a strawberry jam pinwheel cookie, and it's just going to come together really easy. It's going to be fun to make, really. I enjoy making them. It'll be really fun for the kids to make. If my grandkids was here with me, they'd probably be helping me. But like I said, you can use your homemade jam or store-bought. But what I'm using today is going to be store-bought. I like to support my local businesses. And one of the businesses is the Mennonite store. So when I go in there and look for stuff that maybe either I don't make myself, or just because I enjoy what they sell there, the product they sell. And and I really like and love a lot of their jams and jellies. That's where I get my peach jalapeno jelly from. And me and Mr. Brown absolutely love it. We eat it on cream cheese constantly. I just kind of warm it up and put it on some cream cheese. And I'll show that to you sometimes because it's a really good appetizer. Now you can get all kinds of different fruit jalapeno jellies, but this is one of our favorites. But also what they have is, I come close to getting some strawberry jam for this cookie, but then I seen the Christmas jam, and I thought, now that would be really good to use since I'm making Christmas cookies. So I'm going to be using, it's called Christmas jam, and the only difference in the Christmas jam is it's strawberries and it's cranberries mixed together, and it makes a really good jam. So that's what we're going to be putting in our pinwheel cookies today. So let me get my dishes done, and then we're going to get started on our cookies. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stir up our dry ingredients and get it mixed up. And I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour right here in this bowl. I need a half a teaspoon of baking powder, and I need a half a teaspoon of salt. And I need about a tablespoon of the zest of an orange. So it's just 1 tablespoon of orange zest. And I would imagine that if you didn't have an orange, but maybe you had a lemon, it would be good too. Now I'm just going to kind of stir these dry ingredients a little bit. I'm not going to use my electric mixer today, or my KitchenAid. I'm just going to do this by hand, so I'm going to use my dough stirrer here. Not for sure the right word for it, but it's what you can mix the dough with, your bread dough and stuff. It does a good job. Okay. So in my big bowl, I've got a cup of softened room temperature butter. We're just going to put that in there. And I've got a cup of sugar. And I'm going to take that butter and that sugar, and I'm just going to get them combined and stirred up. Just kind of cream them together. Now you don't want to use melted butter because your cookies won't, your dough won't set up right. You just want a room temperature butter. And there's no vanilla in this cookie recipe, which is unusual. So we got our cup of softened butter, and our cup of sugar and butter. And now we're going to put 1 egg. And we're just going to stir this real good and whip it up. Till it gets kind of creamy looking. Kind of fluffy. I can smell that orange zest over here in the flour, and it smells really good. Okay, so we got our egg, our sugar, and our butter in here. Over here we got our flour, our baking powder, and salt. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our dry ingredients into our butter and sugar ingredients. We're going to get this stirred up good. Pinwheel cookies have been around for many years, and like I said, there's all different kinds of fillings that you can put in there. But I do like the strawberry jam one the best. You could use blackberry jam, any kind of jam that you've got. Okay. So what you're going to do is just kind of bring this together. Just kind of like you were going to put, make a pie crust. Just get your hands in there, and clean hands, and just start bringing it together. Now, if you wanted to put a teaspoon of vanilla in here, you could do it. You could even put you a little bit of a little more orange flavor in there. You could put almond extract. So just let it all come together. It don't take long to do it by hand. Now, once I get this together, get all my biscuit table's kind of popping up and down there. I'm going to get all that together, and you can see how it's come together. It's not a real sticky dough. Now I'm going to divide this in half as good as I can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this and wrap it in plastic wrap. Just kind of make a disc out of it. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. And I'm going to chill it for about an hour before I roll it out. You can see the little specks of orange zest in there. So let me get my plastic wrap, get them in the fridge, and we'll be back in about an hour. Okay, I've been playing with this dough just a little bit, and I brought it out of the fridge and I just let it sit out for just a little bit, and I rolled it out to about a 10 by 12 pretty much, and you want it about 1/4 of an inch thick, and you may have to take your little spatula or something and kind of go underneath. Now if your dough wants to tear on you, don't worry about it. Just kind of press it together and patch it back up. And if you want to, at this point, you can trim the edges and make them straight. Just like this. That'll help you out any. Just kind of get off the jagged edges. And of course we got the other one still in the fridge. When you get done with this one, you'll go on to the next one. And you can still see those really pretty orange zest in there. Now I'm just going to take, this is Christmas jam, old-fashioned Christmas jam. Of course you can use any kind you want. I'm just going to kind of put it right there in the middle. And I'm going to start spreading it. And I'm going to spread it about 1 inch from the top and bottom or so. Don't have to be perfect. And maybe 1/2 inch there at the sides. And you'll have to keep adding more jam to it. This makes such a pretty and a really tasty Christmas cookie to give as gifts or for a holiday tray at maybe a Christmas dinner. So just keep spreading that. You don't want to get your jam too thick, but you want enough on there. So just keep spreading it. I'm going to go on out here to the edge, about 1/2 and then 1 inch there. Smells so good. And like I said, the Christmas jam has strawberries and cranberries. I'm not going to be precise on every little thing, but we're going to get it as close as we can. And another fun thing you can do with these pinwheel cookies like this is get your kids involved and let them make they can spread a thin layer of peanut butter and then a thin layer of their favorite jam or jelly, and then roll it up and make peanut butter and jelly pinwheels. Be a good idea. Okay, now we are going to try to start rolling this. And like I said, if it starts tearing on you, just put it back together. Now, once we get these together and get them cut, at that point you can put them on a cookie sheet on parchment paper and you can freeze them and cook them later. Now, you can even go ahead and cook them and freeze them to serve at Christmas time or for maybe for giving as gifts. Either way, it'll work. So we got that rolled up. And I've got a little tear here in the back, but I ain't worried about it. So what you'll do now is you want to roll this in a plastic wrap and put it back in the cooler for just a little bit, and then we'll start cutting it. Okay, I just went out and got my cookies bowl out of the freezer. I stuck it out there so I could get it good and chilled so we can get some in the oven. And I'm going to use a serrated knife. And I'm going to cut them about 1/2 inch thick, I think. And I'm just going to stick them here on my sheet pan that I've got parchment paper on. I think I'm going to put a couple inches in between them. Your end one's never so pretty, but I'll go ahead and cook it and eat it. I think these are really going to be pretty. Red is my favorite color. And it looks like Christmas. So I'm going to keep cutting these. Get them on the cookie sheet. My oven is set at 350 and it's ready and waiting on me. Before I put them in the oven, I'm going to take just a little bit of sugar. And I'm just going to sprinkle just a little bit on top of each one just to give it a little bit of a glitter shine on them as they cook. Just like that, not much. Now I'm going to stick them in the oven, 350, and I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes. And I'm going to check them. Okay, I checked my cookies at 8 minutes and I turned them. And I put another 4 or 5 minutes on them. And they're good and golden now. It does take a while for these to cook. So give them at least about 12 minutes. So there you have it. Old-fashioned jam pinwheels. They're pretty, they look old-fashioned, and they're fun to make. And they taste good too. I hope y'all like this recipe. I tell you, old-fashioned is best. These are so good. But anyways, this is the beginning of our Christmas cookie and candy recipes. So there's going to be more to come. So y'all be watching for more videos. We'll be cooking up something. But y'all have to try these. They're just really, really good. God bless everybody.